Hello guys, welcome back. It's LSP. The date is the 5th of September 2019. The time is 14:40 GMT. So, as I mentioned on the Forex Factory thread that I started, I was going to pick a pair, and then over the weeks and the months to come, we're going to monitor this pair. Now, I just want to be clear about something because I didn't make it clear on the post, but this is going to be our go-to pair that we're going to be studying on a daily basis. Okay, it won't always be in video format. There will be some charts that I'll be posting as well, but this doesn't mean that I won't be posting some other charts of interest, some other pairs of interest. So I'm going to try and sort of deliver as much content on the forum as I can. And then we'll see how it goes. My intention with all of this is I was having a think about the best way to kind of promote the learning process. And I think if we focus just on one pair, a pair that not a lot of people know or not a lot of people trade, then that way you can see the flow of price, and I will be able to really sort of hone in on these little nuances that happen. Which you don't normally see when you're scanning through multiple pairs, on a daily or weekly basis looking for trades. Regardless of whatever time frame you trade on. But when you focus just on one pair, you see a lot more, and you can kind of really narrow in and hone in on some of these really cool things. So with that said, I've opted to use EURJPY for a few reasons. The Japanese yen is a big player in the forex market, and it affects a lot of things. From gold all the way through to dollar. A lot of people have this common idea that dollar is king, and I don't believe that's the case at all. I've never believed that. I think, or at least for me anyway, I use the dollar as a timing tool. Sometimes it is, in play, meaning it is, driving the currency markets, and other times it simply isn't, and a pair will do its own thing. So, if dollar was king, at least by my reasoning anyway, if dollar was king and dollar was the one that we have to focus on, first, then you wouldn't get decoupling, and some pairs doing their own thing. You can see this in some of the dollar front currencies like USD, Japanese yen, and the USD CAD. While dollar's kind of running, sometimes you get these pairs that consolidate or they kind of go in the opposite direction. And especially with this in mind, I can't see how the dollar is always, in the lead, so to speak. All right. So some of the reasons why I opted to choose euro Japanese yen is one, because of the Japanese yen. Two, euro is obviously one of the most widely traded currencies, so it's quite a fluid pair. The other thing is, it's not an overly insane daily range. Okay, so you can see yesterday we had around about 130 pips. The average daily ranges are around about 80 pips or so over the last 5 days, and today so far around about 118. The average weekly range is more than enough, okay, for us to capitalize on one solid trade a week. That's what we're hoping to see, so we can study. So there's enough range, okay, for us to do what we need to do on an average week. Okay, we're not looking at, sorry, one second, we're not looking at this today or this week so far at 200. Don't worry about that. We're just looking at the averages, over the last sort of 2 to 4 weeks, and even the last 52 weeks. You can see up here, it's about the same. So there's enough movement there. So with that in mind, what I'll do is start off by saying this. Okay, when we sit down to look at charts, okay, and it doesn't matter whether you're looking at stocks, or whether you're looking at futures, whether you're looking at the forex market, commodities, it really makes no difference, because the one common denominator in all of the asset classes that we can look at is price. Okay, we're always going to be looking at a price. In this case, we're looking at 118.39. On a futures market, for example, you might be maybe the S&P, which I've not looked at for a while, but let's say it's at 5,000. It's a price. When you're looking at the gold, it's at 1540 something. That's a price, and so on and so on and so on. So we're always looking at price. We're not always, the futures aren't something different. We don't look at the futures and see symbols. We don't look at the stock market and see triangles. We see price. Okay, and with that common denominator, when we sit down to look at pairs or whatever asset classes that we're trading, because this can be applied to everything, we have to have the idea in mind, okay? And this is the way that I trade, so it's only based on what I do, okay? Meaning, you know, if you don't subscribe to what I'm about to say, then that's fine, but just go with it, because that's all you're going to see on this thread. When we're looking at price, the first question I ask myself is, what is price reaching for? Okay, it has to be reaching for something. And even if you don't subscribe to the idea that it has to be reaching for something, it will always be reaching for something. Do you understand? There's a slight difference there. I believe price is reaching for something for my own personal reasons, you know. Other people might believe price is reaching for something for their own personal reasons, and they may be completely different. Some people believe supply and demand, some people believe algo, some people believe, you know, support and resistance, some people believe in their indicators. But the reality is price is always driving towards something. It has to. It's not just going to sit there at the same price. Even if it's ticking up and ticking down, it's moving up and down, which means it's driving up and down, okay? So we need movement in the markets, obviously, and we expect that the price is going to be going in one direction or the other. We use words like bullish bias and bearish bias, directional bias, you know, to give us that kind of clue as to what we think is going to happen. But these are all psychological words that attach emotion. You can attach, you know, these words have emotion attached to them, and they can sometimes skew your thinking. We need to look at price objectively in a way where we're just looking at price and nothing else. There is no, you know, emotion there. There's no, am I right, am I wrong? You know, we're just looking for those moments in time where it makes sense that price is going to drive towards a specific level. That's it. Okay. So, you know, when you look at a chart, and obviously we're going to be using Euro Japanese yen, always start with that question. Where do I think price is driving to? You know, where's price going? Okay. With the monthly chart here, I'm going to start on the higher time frames. Everything that I do is higher time frame based. And I'm not going to be dropping down to the hourly or the 15-minute or the 5-minute or the 1-minute, and sparingly on the 4-hour. Okay, so the main time frames for me are the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour. Okay, with the monthly, I use every month. You know, so at the end of each month, I'll take a look at the monthly and see where price is kind of reaching for. But it takes so long to form; it doesn't really have a part in my own personal trading. So when we're looking at price like this, okay, we start with the monthly chart, and I want to kind of get your eyes accustomed to seeing, a few things. Sorry, let me just have a drink. Seeing a few things, okay. We need to sort of hone in on areas of significance, okay. It doesn't matter whether they've been fulfilled or not. It doesn't matter whether it's moved there or not, okay. Price is right here. Anything in front of this price is a guess. Whether it's an educated guess, whether it's a clean guess, whether it's an experiential guess, whether you've been trading for 50 years and you have a very good feel for the market, it doesn't matter. Anything in front of price right now, in front of this candle, is a guess. We don't know 100% where price is going to go. Okay, we can have a good idea, but we don't know. Anything behind is just the past. But we can use all of this information to give us an idea and to kind of start to piece together where price should be going next. Okay, so one of the first things that I notice is the stop run here, okay, because it's quite a significant stop run. You know, we had a move from the low to the high. Price stopped here, started to consolidate a little bit. We had a nice little pop, and then you get this really nice aggressive reversal, okay? This is very significant for a lot of different reasons, and I can't go through them all now because I have to leave in about 10 minutes or so, but this is very significant. You need to be able to notice these things, because as you start to build up an idea in your mind and a picture in your head of these examples, okay, you will start to notice the differences in the way that they form. And the way that they form gives you much more information one way or another. So this formed in a very specific way. It wasn't just a small grind up there and then a small reversal and then a kind of grinding lower and then lower. It consolidated after a very nice move. Remember, this is monthly, so it took a while. Okay, went sideways, it's grinding sideways, and then it starts to accelerate a little bit. Right there, you see another stop run. So it goes down, takes out all the stops below here. Nice rejection, starts to grind towards this previous high, this swing point, explodes through it. Okay, and then you just get an immediate reversal and then a drop. Okay, that is manipulation. This is an absolute 100% manipulation. This is clear definable, very easy to understand manipulation. They're obviously running stops up here, whether it's to fulfill an objective, whether it's to balance their books, whether it's to fulfill orders. It really makes no difference. That's not what we're worried about. What our concern is, how did it go up there, and is it significant? Because once something like this happens, it gives you so much more information as to what could potentially be happening next. Okay, so we need to be able to notice these things, and you can see we get a really nice drop, and then price starts to kind of grind higher. We get another little reversal here, and price is going lower and lower and lower, and obviously all of this down move here is again to fulfill an objective, whatever that objective will be. Okay, and then we start to reverse, and this is another significant picture, because you can see this is a turning point in the marketplace. Okay, so without me going into too much detail, because I want to do this in a progressive way where you can follow along, all right, what we need to deduce now going forward is where price could potentially be going next. Okay, and a good place to start is when you're looking at price like this. You can see we started here and we've been grinding lower ever since. Even this candle right here, which is a very significant candle because it went all the way down. Very nice reversal. Remember, this is a month, yeah, and it's subsequently just been eradicated completely. This has just been erased. That 1 month right there has just been erased. Okay, convincingly as well. Okay, so it went through it nicely. Okay, and we're just getting a little bit of an up move now. So the next area of significance is down here below this this previous low, and we'll put the price down, which is 114.84. Okay, so 114, we're just going to round them off. So 114.85 is a significant level where price could potentially be reaching for. Why? Because again, if you start here and you can see all this down move here, look at what's happened within this down move. It's no good just looking at the down move. Look what's happened in that down move. We had a small area of consolidation here. So it came down, nice, a little bit of rejection here. Came down again, a little bit of rejection here. Came up, takes out the high, comes down again. Okay, this is enough. Okay, all of this movement here with a small rejection here, a little bit of a move higher. It's enough to basically push price higher. We should have gone higher here if price was going to continue going higher, but you can see it hasn't. Started to grind lower. Then we get this really nice stop run. I can imagine how many people went long after seeing a month like this. Plenty of people would have been going long here, and then again just proceeded to just grind lower and grind lower and grind lower. Okay, so we're quite close to this 114.80, 85. I'll just drop down to the weekly. Let's get a better feel for how this is formed, and you can see there's that nice significant candle down, going sideways, sideways, sideways. Starts to grind lower, grind lower, grind lower. There's another area right here of of a small area of relief, small consolidation area that did some work here, and again down, 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 down. So this week, when you put it into context, okay, it doesn't look so bullish anymore. Yeah, when you're looking at the daily chart and you see a candle, candles like this, you think, oh, you know what, this is pretty significant. Prices exploding to the upside. That looks good. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going long, retail traders or even investors that are going long on euro right now, and I'm not saying it's a bad call, I don't know, but just based on what I'm seeing on the higher time frames, when you jump back up again, it doesn't look so great anymore, does it? And then you go to the month and you're like, okay, this is still probably likely going down to the 114.85, right? So with that in mind, we'll just drop down to the daily again. So pointless even zooming out, can't really see. So on the upside, taking some liquidity above here. I might need to drop down to the 4 hour actually, because I want to see how this looks. So we've taken the liquidity here. We see this nice spike here. You've got to notice these. These are the things that you need to be able to notice. You get a really nice spike here, and then it gets eradicated. Price goes up, reverses, sideways, 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 sideways. We get a drop, a gap, fills the gap, starts to grind higher again, but it's not going anywhere. Do you understand this? One side of the consolidation, the second side of the consolidation, eventually goes all the way down, starts to grind higher. So what I really want to see is, the first thing is we need to establish is would I consider taking along on this? No, because the higher time frame level is the 114.85. That's where I'm considering price should be going. Okay, and that's where where my eye goes. That's what I'm focused on. Now, I'm not going to change my mind yet, okay, because this is a weekly chart and it's going to take time to form. So what we really want to see is we want to see some of this candle erased. We want to see the following week, because we've got non-farm coming as well, which may do this in one day. I don't know, but we want to see some of this candle get erased. We want to see rejection. We want to see a reason that this that this is nothing more than just manipulation, or they're just driving price higher to then trap traders along so they can take them out, as price starts to continue going lower again. So with that in mind, like I said, I need to see some movement to the downside. Right now these are very strong candles. These are nice, progressive, strong candles to the upside. So until we see something of magnitude to the downside, we just have to monitor it. We're going to continue to monitor it, and we're going to see whether or not price is indeed going to be driving lower to those lower, to that lower level down here. On the upside, this consolidation area right here, and I'm just going to use this candle because I can just note the candle. The reason I'm just using that candle is because it engulfs pretty much most of this area. These are just stop runs either side of the marketplace, but all the bodies of the candles here, you can see that they've respected this small area here. We had some significant, this level's basically been tested a few times, you can see, and then eventually it gets through it again. So there's one area here. I know it's a way away, but just it doesn't matter. We're just going to put it on the chart. We're going to keep it there for now, and we'll do the same with this candle, because again, it engulfs pretty much this entire area. So range-wise, and remember we're dealing with the weekly here, so range-wise, it's about a week and a half or so of weekly range. So this may take some time before it gets up there, if it gets up there. Okay, I'm just showing you areas where price could potentially stop. In between all of that, there's nothing really. There's a small imbalance here, so if price does sort to drive towards that imbalance here, then maybe it stops there. But either way, we can drill down to the 4 hour and we can see whether or not these areas are significant enough to cause some small change in direction. And then we can start to kind of track price as it comes down, if it starts to come down. So I'm going to leave it at that. And each day, okay, I will do my best to give you guys some insights and monitor things on Euro Japanese yen. I'm going to do my best as well to try and keep it as clean as I can so you can all follow along. And this is why I'm thinking maybe, although I can't do it all the time, I'm thinking maybe if I can, a quick 2 to 3, maybe 5-minute video at the end of each trading day, just to kind of get a feel and a progressive look at how price is moving along, each day, and then at the end of the week, again, just do another very short video, just kind of going over things and see where price is going. Because on this week, right now, so far, price is driving higher. Okay, so we can say that this has been an up week, and there's been some strength in euro and some weakening in the Japanese yen, but that may very well change at the end of the week, and that's why I like to do the analysis at the close of the weekly candle, okay, not midweek. All right, so I'll leave it at that. This is the draw. This is where I believe price is going to end up. So now we need to see evidence of that. Okay, so we're going to continue to track it, and we'll see whether or not EURJPY gives us evidence, to start looking for. Or being convinced that the 114.85 is indeed in play. All right, so I wish you guys all the best, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video or post. Take care.